So, welcome to day 2 of the one-on-one training with the, and then it's been just a roller coaster, right? So if you've watched the previous video, and if you haven't, go ahead and watch it again. So today we'll just be going over what we talked about on Monday, and then we'll be able to establish more foundation about the whole forex trading basics with Peter and Rafi, right? So basically we've just seen what's possible, and then we've also made them understand what forex trading involves, right? Which involves the exchange of currencies, right? Which is like foreign currencies, and then you're able to just exchange them one-on-one, right? So but one major thing is we talked about support and resistance, right? And then we also was able to establish what pips means. And then I'm just going to ask Rafi, so what do you understand by pips? If someone tell you, oh, this is 50 pips, blah blah blah, what do you think?
Pips is basically like the movement of the trade. So when you see a particular pip, when you see 50 pips, whether it's 100, it's basically from the movement from your risk to what's it called?
Your reward, or your entry points to the target, pretty much, yeah. So so the question I'll be asking you pretty much is, how do you think a support level is actually built? Basically, how do you what will you say is a point where price come to, and then you be like, okay, this support level is established? Do you think you could easily go with that?
Okay. When we talk about support level, is a particular point in the chart whereby the candle, like after going up and coming down, like hits that point and starts to go up again. So we call that level support level. Is always low, and like following the trend line. When the chart goes up and comes down, hits the point, goes up again, comes down. Once it has done that twice, it can be set to be a support level.
Good. So we have all of that established, and then you can bear me witness that now they have moved from at least not really 0 anymore. Now they are currently at, let's say, 1, right? Let's just use that as an approximate number, right? But today and for the rest of this week, right, we'll just be establishing on all we've talked about. So the first thing first is we all understand what a pip is. We also understand what support resistance zones are, and then we also have the idea of how the whole market moves, right? And then today we'll just be going a little bit deep into it. So we have what our support level is, and then we can easily still just basically say, there's a point in which the market creates a market structure, and then we establish that base as a support level, while we can establish the roof or the top as a pure resistance level. So if we have a market moving towards the upside, we can call it an upward trend. You understand? So if the market's overall direction is moving to the upside, we can call it an uptrend. If the market is moving towards the downside, we can call it a downtrend. So, but one thing is, inside every trend, it doesn't mean because price is moving an uptrend, there can't still be sales, right? For your uptrend to be complete, there have to be two things, right? Higher highs and higher lows. For your uptrend to be complete, there have to be two things, right? One of which is higher highs and higher lows. So you want to take note of that. It's definitely we'll do that. So now higher highs are just like you take out a high and then you create another high. The market takes out that high and then creates another high. You understand? So just the simple terminology, the English word, higher highs. Now if you look at higher lows, it means price fails to take out a low and then it creates another higher low. Price refuse to take out that higher low that it has created, and then it creates another higher low that's higher than that previous higher low.
Like
so
example,
if we come to the chart right now, and then we look at this whole move right here, let's look at the whole move from this point to this point, right? So if we look at the whole move from those 2 points, right, we can establish that everything, the overall move here is to the upside, right? The overall move here to the upside. But pay attention to what was happening during that move. During each move, we can see that price intentionally was moving up. Do you see that? Create a low. Now look at this low. This low is not the same thing as this low. So definitely this place is a higher low.
Higher low.
Do you understand? So now we can now look at this point and call it a what? A new higher high.
Yeah.
Now then this point will now be what? A new higher low. Now look at it. This low is higher than this low. Then now this is now a new higher high because it is higher than this high. Then we can now see that price intentionally comes back to take out this low. Now what do we call this now? The lower low.
Yep.
With this now we can establish that price has shifted its trend, but we'll come back to that later. But one thing is we won't be able to put our mind on the fact that despite the fact that price have moved towards this point, we could still see some things established, right? Which is now bringing us to this part. Now look at this. This is a higher low. So now once a higher low form, what do you think is the next thing that's going to happen? You should expect a higher high, which is taking out all these highs and then creating a new high here. You can see that. Then now all these lows, we could still just cap them around here and then put them down here because price didn't take out this low. So we can still call this a higher low, and then we now have a higher high. Now look at this. Now look at this low and this low. We can establish that price did what? Price just formed similar or equal low. But the fact that price did not take out this low tells us that there's a tendency for a new higher high. Do you understand? Because that's how the market moves. The market moves basically. So now what we are anticipating for gold, while we are buying it right now, is something similar here. Just look at it. Let's delete this now and restructure it again. Let's just look at this particular move here. Okay, so we have like this, price come down, push to the upside. Can you see that? Then come down,
take out the higher low.
This higher low, yeah. Then
So
bump to the upside.
Anyone that takes out the higher low is going for a.
There's actually a possibility like that. Now we're just going to copy that same thing and bring it here. Let's just do it like this. Now we have this particular point here, and then this point here. They are similar. You just have to be able to see it. Then we have this point here. Can you see that? Then we have this low here. You see that? Now one thing you want to pay attention to is what price did. Price took out all these lows. See? All these lows. You can see price took out those lows. Price took out those lows. At the current market price though, like what is currently happening here. You understand? Not this one here. This one here. So now we now have all these previous higher lows also taken out, but one of them is maintained. Which of them is maintained? This one here. So now using this particular knowledge here, now you can see that from this point here we can have a very good move similar to what has happened around there. So price took out the lows here, you can see, but failed to take out this low. Then immediately it tapped closer to it, it pushed to the upside. Now we have one in which price already tapped on it. Then we're expecting price to just give us that at least either to this point or to this point. So one of them is one of the things that is going to happen in the nearest hours from now. So but based on this, now you can establish that if someone actually asks you about what a trend is, you can easily know what the uptrend is and what it entails, right? So if we want to look for a downtrend pretty much comprises of lower highs and lower lows. So now you can see how bullish this is, how uptrending this is, how everything is just moving to the upside. So let's look for a downtrend market. Okay, so you can come to the front, yeah. So you okay, good. So now we have a downward trend here. We can see that from this point here we've established price pushing to this downside, right? So now, but one thing is the fact that price started off from here, pushed to this upside, came down, right? Now after that point, what's the next thing we have? We have a lower high. You see that this high is lower than this high, so we can now establish another lower low. This low is lower than this low. We have this high is lower than this high. We have this low that is lower than this low. Then we have this high that's lower than this high. Then we have this low. Now what do you observe if you were to take a position in any of a downtrend, right? Where would you want to take your position? What would you want to do when you see price or the market in a downtrend? What will be your main target? Do you want to buy or you want to sell?
You want to buy.
In a downtrend, you want to sell.
Okay, sorry.
In a downtrend, you want to sell because that's where the market is moving towards. The overall direction of the market is to the downside.
Downtrend,
So if it is pushing to the upside now, we can now focus on what? On buying, right? So if we now look at this now, we can delete this and say, okay, now we know that the market is on a downtrend.
Yes.
Now our major focus will be, we want to see price come to a resistance point, then we take our trade. We don't have any business on the support point if we are in a downtrend. Very important. So on a downtrend, you only want to focus on what? Resistance. Do you see that? That's when you can take good trade. Can you see that? Now you only want to focus on resistance point. You don't want to focus on resistance point. And if you can focus well on a resistance point, you will be able to, take good trades, because that is where the overall move is. Now if you're moving in an upward trend, you see that you want to only focus on the what? Support level, and then you want to take price pushing to the upside. One very popular quote is, always be a friend to the trend. What does that mean is, whatever you are doing, you must always obey the overall trend. So if the trend is an upward trend, you don't have any business selling as a beginner. You only want to focus on buying, looking for opportunities to buy, and you want to buy from where? A support level. In no way,
the criteria for buying,
do you understand?
Focusing
on support level. So in no way should you be buying from a resistance point, because at that point you are in a danger of losing that particular amount of trade or that particular amount of money that you are risking at that point. So if we have price pushing to the upside like this, you have price pushing all the way to this point, you should be able to find a way to take a position there, and then look out for what? Price for push to the upside. So uptrends you buy, downtrends you sell. Uptrends you focus on support levels, downtrends you focus on resistance levels. So which is very important. Then the next thing we also want to look out for is, what, aside from higher highs and lower lows, and lower highs and higher lows, or whatever, what other thing do we see that forms on the chart that give us the idea of price going to the upside or to the downside?
Can you come again?
Okay, what other thing, what other analysis, because everything we're talking about now is still technicals. The higher highs and lower lows, higher lows and lower highs, and all of things like that are all technical analysis, right? So now, what other analysis can you see on the chart, or can you say the chart forms each time it moves to the upside, or each time it wants to move to the downside? Or when do you think price is about to move to the downside, when do you think price is about to move to the upside? Because it cannot forever be in a downtrend.
It cannot forever be in a downtrend.
It can also not forever be in a uptrend. How do you now know when price is about to change from a downtrend to a uptrend? You see that? So which now brings me to something we call BOS and CHoCH. So BOS and CHoCH. Do you understand? You have BOS, CHoCH. Yeah, BOS, CHoCH. So BOS means break of structure. CHoCH means change of character. BOS means break of structure. CHoCH means change of character. So we only use change of character whenever price is about to move from a downtrend to an uptrend, or from an uptrend to a downtrend. At that point, there is already a change of character that is about to happen. Switch of trend.
You said CHoCH only
when we say price probably changing from a downtrend to an uptrend, or changing from an uptrend to a downtrend, vice versa, like that. Break of structure is just when we see price moving to the upside, and then it is breaking out structures while it is moving to the upside.
What does it mean by breaking out?
Good, we'll go into that shortly. So now we see that price is moving to the upside here. Do you understand? Now, but one thing that gives us, don't let us focus on the origin of this particular push to the upside. Let's just start from here. Let's start from here, okay? So the reason why we are starting from here is because we can see clearly that from this point, price is pushing to the upside, right? That's the uptrend.
Origin.
This is the origin.
And what do we call it?
The supply demand origin. This is the low. So we have the demand origin. So now from this point here, we can establish that price already pushed to this point, came down, then pushed to this point. Now the fact that price moved from this point to this point gives us the fact that it took out this high. Can you see that?
Took out.
This high, can you see? It broke out of that high. Can you see that high?
Let me get it down.
For a new higher high to be created, there have to be a breakout of the previous higher high. Do you see that?
Where's the previous area?
This is the previous higher high. This one.
Is this a higher?
No, this one. Yes.
Yes.
This is the higher high. Now, price now broke out of it. Then price came here. You can see that. Now, the fact that price came here, what it did here was clearly a break of structure. What it broke, immediately broke out of this point.
Yeah.
It's a break of structure.
We already defined change of character, defined break of structure. Yes.
So break of structure is when price basically takes out a high or price basic in a uptrend, and in a downtrend when price takes out a low. You see that? So immediately price takes out this high, we have the break of structure intact there. So you see BOS. Now if you look at it again, you can see that price took out this high after creating this low. Price took out this high. Can you see that? Price took out this high. So we have a break of structure there. Can you see that? Now, so we have a break of structure here. Along the line, price started pushing to the upside as well. And you can see more break of structures happening, right? So in an uptrend, you can see a lot of break of structure. So right now, I'm sure you can identify break of structure in an uptrend. So you see BOS. So we have price push from here as well to this point, and we have BOS. Can you see that? Beautiful, right? So now let's go ahead and look for BOS in a downtrend. Sorry, oh boy, we didn't break. That's sorry. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at a downtrend. Now we have a downtrend here, then boom. Now I want us to focus more on, I don't want us to focus on CH or CH right now. I just want us to focus on BOS right now. Right, so now we have that. Then we can see that if we take out this point to this point here, you see how price took out that low. Then from there we have a break of structure. Can you see BOS? Then from there we can see how price took out this low here. We have a BOS there. From there we can see how price took out this low here as well. Then we can have the BOS. Do you see that? Yep. So with that, now we can establish that we can have BOS in a downtrend, we can also have BOS in an uptrend, right? Yes. But what signifies that price is about to move to an uptrend from a downtrend, and what signifies that price is about to move to an uptrend from a downtrend, right? Let's now look at this particular. This is a downtrend, this is an uptrend. Now what signifies that price is about to change its character here is when price takes out a previous lower high, something like this. This was the previous lower high. You see that? So this is the significant lower high that we have here before this push, right? So if you now look at it, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so for us to have a CH, yes, now for us to have a CH to see it, we have to see price significantly take out a previous or the most recent lower high. Do you understand? That's if we are about to change from a downtrend to an uptrend. So we have this particular lower high here. Then we can see that this particular lower high was taken out at this point. Can you see that? So we have a significant change of character. Yeah, I'm with you. Can you see that?
This is what takes it out, Abby.
This particular move, this move here from here, boom. Do you understand? Then immediately price take this out, there is already a significant change of character there. You see that? Now let's look at it. Coming to a from a uptrend. Look at this. This is an uptrend, right?
Yes.
This is price pushing to the upside, right? You can see it's price pushing to the upside. Then all of a sudden price got to this point and took out this low. Can you see that low? With this wick, we can see price has taken out this place.
Now, this is for uptrend, right?
Yes, that's for uptrend.
So it means when it goes to the downtrend, just with the price takes out a previous significant
higher
low.
Yes. So we have this particular higher low, which is significant. Price came there, took it out. Immediately took it out, then we can see price just drop to the downside. Significant one.
And this was from the upper trend.
Do you understand? It's from the uptrend. So with this now we can establish what BOS and CHoCH simply means. You understand? So basically it's like very, very important. So let's check up on our XAUSD trade. Let's see. We are doing well, good trade here. You can see how it's simple. If you're able to see it, you can't see it. That's the slogan, right? If you've seen it, you can't see it. The money is just going to continue printing like this, just like that. So if we have our stop loss slightly here, why would you think I won't put my stop loss here? Considering the
because from what we can see, this demand origin, we see there's a significant low here, and definitely the price is still going to replace towards that downside. So we want to be on the safer side by making it above
this particular point. So if you have your stop loss slightly below here, it means that you're putting yourself to too much risk, and there's no need for that. Now you already have a significant low. Now this low is higher than this low. So with that, now if price can give us a very, very nice break of structure here, you see that can you see that we're already having a lot of break of structures already? We have this break of structure here. You see that? Now if we come to this point here, which is where we add the intention of buying. Yeah. So
yeah, we have
this was where we started buying off yesterday.
We already know our what's it called? We already know how much risk we can take, like being very, very conservative and being above this particular point. The next thing we now want to do is we know there's going to be a break of structure at that point. High. So there's still another high here. We are still trying to be very, very, very conservative.
So we have all those highs there that can easily prevent price. So if those highs are not really there, then there's no need for us to still be scared of or skeptical of taking this trade. So if you look at this point here now, what would you call this point? What would you call this point? A CHoCH or a break of structure? This point here.
CHoCH
or a break of structure?
Yeah, take it as a CHoCH.
Okay, why would you take it as a CHoCH?
This is because a CHoCH is the one that's change of character for me. A downtrend to an uptrend, or uptrend to a downtrend. So you said this is a significant low. Yes, and this trend has not yet tried to like pick out this low. So I feel
I just feel like it's a change of CHoCH. Why? Because price has significantly taken out a previous higher low. So this is a low, and this is a lower low. This is an higher low. So price took out this higher low. Definitely is a change of character.
You see that? So we have this. If you look at it from this point here now downward, everything is a downtrend.
We've seen that this particular is a downtrend, we can now see an uptrend, but we want to use the terms and English that has taught us. Now we can say that for there to be a change of character, is when price has significantly broken out of what a previous higher low. Look at this particular point. This is an higher low.
Lower high.
Higher low.
This is a lower high.
A lower high.
Yes, a lower high.
Sorry. A lower English. Sorry. A lower high. So this is a lower high. Right.
Lower than this point.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
If I want to use your term, higher low. Look at this particular point.
Yes.
This is low, but it's still higher than this particular low.
This thing has not yet happened, so you cannot know.
You cannot know yet. You understand? The reason why this place is actually a lower high is because of this particular.
Yes.
You understand? It failed to take out this high, so it is lower than this high. So if you look at it, that's what you wrote there. Where is it?
Uptrend.
Yeah, uptrend. Do you see that? Then this one is downtrend. So this is a downtrend. Do you see that? So we have this now clearly here. that in a lower high, price already took out this point, was significant. The price has to take out this particular what,
And it did.
lower
Yeah,
high, and then it did. Yes, I hope you understand how change of character works. And then after I took out that previous lower high, what happened? Price started pushing straight. Now what? The same character. Now what happened again? Now look at this point to this point. What do you think happened within this point? What do you think happened within this point?
Price went down. And then it created what do you think happens
Within this point, from this point to this point.
on this
Wait
point?
for structure. Look at it from this point here. Now look at it. Let's take it out. Let's go with the flow. The lower high, the higher lower, the higher high, the higher low, the higher high. That took out this point, right? The higher low, just higher than this one. The higher high, the higher low, the higher high, the higher low, the higher high, and the higher low, right? So what? The higher high, the higher low, the higher high. You see that?
Yes.
Now look at it. Equal low created a lower high. Can you see that? Then a lower low. This is it. Now price push up again. Created this low here, higher low.
That means there's another
You understand? There's another CHoCH. Now that changed the character, which resulted in this drop. You understand? But now significantly, for us to be able to know that this chart tells a story. The story that this chart already told me yesterday night is what I'm establishing on, which is what I'm buying now. Because we already see this significant change of character. And then we've seen that price is already pushing to do that.
I mean,
As I want to that's crazy. So now we've seen that price already took out this. You understand? I don't know if you understand. Yes. So price already took out this point now. We've seen that this place changed the characters. And from here, we don't need somebody to come and tell us why this buy will happen. We don't need anybody to come and tell us, because we already know. We already have something that's already telling us the entire story. You understand? From this point,
portfolio. Now you now. And they call get one that tall guy.
nah, it could be.
Get one that tall guy with tall like you like this. Now they call portfolio.
Oshima.
Yes.
It's too far.
How they be now?
so if you look at it right, you see that basically there is no need for anybody to want to tell us why it should buy, because we can see repetition. Now see what happened here. You see that? See what happened in 4 hours.
I'm not the one time to.
You have to say
You did not see this thing and see that this is a good support level. It's not break.
Now look at interesting thing is price did not take out that low. So for the fact that price came back again to repeat same thing, for him not to take out this low, going up. So if one can swing trade this thing, it's crazy money.
So the best hours now, 4 hours.
You have to start from the 4 hours, start from daily. Some people even go as far as weekly. You understand?
Somebody will get confused in that place that there was a change of character, and it's already coming down. You think maybe
I mean Jeffrey sold now. Jeffrey literally sold today. But he made his money, right? Because he entered the
fucking line,
and the
bro.
thing sold. But the interesting thing is we are not focusing on the short-term things now. We're not focusing on.
We're not scalpers.
We're not scalpers. Do you understand? We want to be able to be part of like trading is not
safe at some point.
And again, me, I don't trade based on just trading. Right? Trading is being able to catch a move, significant move. For price to move from 3,000 to 35, it means you are part of a significant move. It's not small money we are talking about, so $3,500. For price to move from just to buy one gold. So you want to be, if you want to scalp, fine, scalp, that's it. But if you want to be part of a significant, that's the main thing about trading, right? If you want to be part of a significant move, you have to be able to understand those things. So if one don't understand these things, one will just be, making the small profit that one can make, or using bots, all those e-economy, elephants, bats, blah 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 blah, all these things, right? So cipher, head and shoulders, blah blah blah. But if you want to be a part of the major moves that last 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you see that you'll be able to make good decisions on the market. So based on what we are see just in 1 hour, all this trade we are currently on, this trade now, that just lasted for 2 hours. And right now, if one is to calculate the pips, you see that from this point to the current market price here, to the current market price now, you see that we have 1,000 points, which gives us 100 pips. If you enter this trade with 0.01, you are making $10. If you enter this trade with 0.1, you are making $100 per position. If you enter this trade with 1 lot, you are making $1,000. If you enter this trade with 10 lots, you are making $10,000. From here, not from there, from here. Look at the beginning of that arrow. From here to this point, which is around 2 points. So you see that it is
So
just.
if I have the $10 account now,
And you've entered with 0.01, you've doubled that money. You understand? But one thing is, you bear in mind that they are potentially able to reach that
Don't
money.
ask you question. There are sometimes some space. Like the other 0.01, 0.02. But sometimes when you put a very high lot, let's say 0.05, and the account you see it can't carry it.
Yes, that's because the margin, there's something called margin call and your leverage, right? And it depends on the account balance. If your account balance is like $20, $10, you might not be able to open 0.05.
Why?
If your leverage is not 1:1 unlimited. There's something called leverage at the back end when you are signing up for Xness, right? So if you have your Xness system, my own leverage now I can open 1 lot on $100 account, which somebody else cannot open because it's after when you are about to create the account, you're able to see it.
It's still going to
When you try creating, let's see. If it's go to,
I've not created an open
open an account, real account. Right? So let's see this. The network is. So there are a lot of accounts here. Okay, let me go to the site. I have to review. I usually use the site. This is charging like this. What percent? Thank you. So click on open a new account. Standard. Yeah, standard, right? So come and see it here. So we have continue. Close, right? So look at it. See here. Max level. Look at that max level. Max level. One ratio.
They don't collect. This is only available when you have closed
at least 10 position. So you see that, and 5 lots. So you see that me now I've traded more than 5 lots. You understand? On real accounts, on your personal trade. So if you've not traded up to 5 lots, they won't give you that 1 ratio. You understand? So if you have traded up to 5 lots, that's when you can. So you put.
what's like the best for you now?
The best for you now, you can just go with 1:200 or 1:2,000. That's the closest to.
What's the difference?
The difference is just what you can do and what the broker is willing to give you. Because when you are trading, you're not just trading your money. Their money is also there. They have a back end. That's why I explained down. In normal day, we are not supposed to even trade.
If you lose,
If you lose, they take out their money. They don't lose. They just take out their money.
They would add money to your own money.
Your
So
money,
you will
yeah.
take large
Large positions. When you make profit, they will make profit. But when you're already losing, they take out their money.
automatically.
That's what they call margin call.
Automatically.
Yes, yeah.
You will not lose them.
They will not lose their money. That's the advantage.
well, there's one time that this guy was doing broker. You can always broker.
How
And so I was doing broker.
See that
margin call.
Why? What happened?
news.
You lost
So like the news, like you know, go allow you to apply for the particular type. So if you can't open them, you are at risk of losing most of your money.
it's a crazy. I was on the staircase when I gave them this update. You see that's the interesting thing. Once you know it, there is nothing else that's going to stop you anywhere, anytime. I just needed to go to my phone, look at the chart, and then boom. But if I had not done that analysis with greatness now yesterday night, I won't have anything I'm waiting for today.
Who did this?
This particular time, I was one that did it. Just a conversation thing. Most people don't really understand it, but I hope they will understand it some of these days.
Very one that came up with
I came up with your conversation, right? So I already know. I said gold wants to go up. That's the thing. That's like there is no sell. There's no aggressive sell that's coming. So whatever is going to happen, which is long missed friend, it's missed. If you look at it from the old thing, it's already telling us that it wants to push to the upside. You understand? So it's a crazy thing. Let me look for one day. Are we on FX here? Let's check.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up?
This is fast. So what we were analyzing yesterday was this particular exhaustion point. Can you see that exhaustion?
Alright.
So this was the exhaustion. Like it was the fact that this exhaustion happened on the very, very critical support level. Can you see that? So if you have it established itself around this point, can you see? Served as a piece, right? The support, just put it there. James can. Greatness already said it yesterday. Price just needs to tap into the exhaustion point. You can see there is no two ways about it. We just need to see price come into the exhaustion point, and then you see the aggressive move.
So this is still years.
This is good.
Another exhaustion point.
Yeah, we are just checking out. We are just checking it out on a different server, right? Okay. Because the server we were analyzing on is actually what we call FX here. But right now, let me just add.
Hello, Fadi. Good evening. Please, the letter with you that we wrote that time concerning Ministry of Youth, can you please send it? I want to copy the address. Yes. That we wrote to Ministry of Youth in that time for TFI. Please, it's quite urgent. We should go. Just come and trade money for us. If you lose, we'll arrest you, but if you win, you take profit.
So you can see the exhaustion here, right? Exhaustion on the support level. That was what established the fact that we should see some sort of this. You understand? Some sort of this. And which is like
it starts into it now. You are waiting that upward movement.
Now we're already in the upward movement, right? One thing that will just give me that comfort, one thing that will give me that peace of mind is if on this 4-hour time frame, but based on this magnitude or based on this move, you should see price be able to change character. That's one thing that will give me that comfort that right now nothing is happening. We are pushing to the upside. But if this thing don't break out, I cannot have peace of mind. So that's to break out. There are still some people that are waiting for that breakout to happen before they take the trade. You understand? So which is a very, because if you look at it here, this is the breakout here, the change of character here. You see that? Then there's a push to the downside and boom to the upside. You see that? So something like this, there's still a drawdown that will still happen. After that drawdown happens, then we'll push to the upside. But you cannot just expect the market to just continue pushing the flow. It has to do what it has to do for it to push. Which is just, you just have to leave your position there and just forget it. Just let it slide.
Can I try something? Sorry. Can you hear me set a trend line at this particular point?
Okay. Now a trend line, yeah, you're looking at? Is it where do you want the trend line to start from?
From this particular point, I want it to go backwards. I want to retrace.
Okay, like a straight line. That's the current this
Horizontal line.
yeah.
Because I saw a particular position. Please, can we move backwards? I saw a particular position where. Now, can I use this particular part and say, okay, it is still going to. Okay, let's see this. Look at this. This is a repetition. So definitely, I think I can say, okay, market is still going to move downwards.
Which is why I said you have to see that break. If you don't see that break, you cannot have to segment. Because that zone is a major zone. You understand? Every point at which price reverse in the market, you want to know that today is that every point it reverses is a major zone. As far as it reverses, do you understand? If it doesn't reverse, that's a different thing. But the point that it reverses, it is a significant one, a significant zone. So now, so far, we've talked about break of structures, we've talked about change of characters, we've talked about what we just talked about now, significant level, exhaustion point. Same thing we talked about, peaks, and then so on and so forth. But every point at which price reverses is a significant point. So there is no two ways about it. There is just always the move of price from one point to another, and then wherever it reverses, something of sort has happened using previous data. You understand? So it's 6 already, I imagine. So but with this now, one can easily establish, you already know what the change of character is, you already know what the break of structure is. For this trade, like I said, to be valid, for us to keep trusting this trade and keep holding on this trade, we need to see a significant break of structure. Now you see that servers are different. If you don't know this, you won't know until you come for teaching. Now you see that this is XAUSD on FXCM, this is XAUSD on Rwanda. You see that? So the servers are different. So you have to be able to. Some are slower, some are faster. Like I said, that this one already formed another candlestick. This one has exhaustion point. Some have more details. So this one now, XAUSD does not have an exhaustion point. But you have the same candlestick that you want to close in 1 hour. You see that? So all these things, you have to correlate them with your XNS broker. Because that's very true. So you have to know which of them you want to do. But you can also analyze using any of them just to get a broader view. Alright guys, so we just ended the 2 with Rafael and Peter, and then it's just nothing short of amazing. So today I'm just going to tell you what they will tell you themselves what they learned, and then I will also be breaking it down to you, my online viewers. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you also like this video, and then make sure you stick to the community. Peace.
Hi guys, it's Rafael, and I'm on day 2 with DeeFx, and what I've learned today, I've learned about the exhaustion points, I've learned about break of structure, CHoCH, that's a change of character, basically trying to depict when the market is in the uptrend and when the market is in downtrend. And like D said always be a friend of the trend. If the market is in downtrend, what is coming to your mind is, as a beginner, right, is you want to sell, and then when it's going up you want to buy. Then there are certain positions at which you have to know when the market is about to change from a downtrend to an uptrend. This is where the CHoCH comes in, and your confirmation to take certain trades is where there's going to be a break of structure, basically when the new high is probably picking up the previous high, or maybe when the new low is probably picking out the previous low. All of those are break of structures, and then this has helped me become a better trader. From I think I'm on 2 now, from 0 to 2, and we are now at 200. Thank you.
All right, our day 2 class for today taught us a lot of things, and this is just a summary I'm about to say. I learned about break of structure and change of character, which goes by the abbreviation BOS and CHoCH. So I understand the concepts of break of structure and the concept of change of character, which helps us recognize a downtrend and an uptrend perfectly. It helps us to know when a trend is switching from a downtrend and then going for an uptrend. That's one basic thing I learned today, and I feel that's another step from where I was yesterday. Thanks to DeeFx.